Palantir's latest deal announcements always seem to skimp on specific contract terms like deal length and award amount. Well, the recent deal extension with Tampa Bay General is a peculiar case in which the original PR from Palantir didn't include any of these originally, but later on from AIPCon 4, we got the 7 years term length, and that was disclosed by their leadership themselves during their keynote speaking. But even more so under the radar, it was actually revealed during their Yahoo Finance interview that the deal is worth $50 million. So this went under the radar, but Amit actually did bring attention to this, noting the Yahoo Finance source, which I didn't even think of to look at the time. So it's always great to have these pieces finally come together. Now, $50 million will have some folks excited, some kind of meh or neutral, or even just disappointed. Now, for context, Palantir has been working with TGH since 2021, and we've seen this time and time again with them sharing what kind of use cases as well as results they've been seeing. And the original deal terms dollar-wise are still unknown, but most likely still it'll be less than that $50 million figure since they are an early partner building out solutions. Now, with this deal extension of $50 million over 7 years, essentially they're roughly getting a little over $7 million per year. Now, this is a big amount for any small business for sure, and that just goes towards any single vendors or even all their vendors. But in the context of Palantir's few billion in revenue, this may seem like a tiny drop in the bucket and insignificant. So quantitatively, it really is a matter of perspective. Now, if you think this deal by itself will move the needle, it's pretty obvious it won't. But what's more important in my opinion is what does this demonstrate? Well, first, it's 7 years long. That is extremely sticky and is a huge vote of confidence from Tampa Bay General themselves. And any organization looking to sign a deal with a partner for this long really isn't the norm, but the advantages, of course, is that stability and locking in who you'll be working with, especially if you trust them. And that, of course, has its advantages. But still, it's that double-edged sword if things go awry because you're stuck together, and if someone doesn't live up to their end of the deal, you're just stuck. And I'm personally not worried about this, of course, but it's still a real risk. And looking at this in total at $50 million, that is actually a big chunk of change when you look at it in aggregate, and many organizations can't necessarily afford to dedicate this much resources to a single vendor. Now, playing the long game, this is more important in my opinion for Palantir and better for their stickiness. Tampa Bay General, first of all, is one of the early ins for Palantir into the healthcare industry, specifically on the hospital health system side. And TGH technically took a risk themselves to develop these solutions for themselves, not knowing if they'd ever be useful and work and have some sort of return on investment. Now, obviously now they do with the latest deal, but at the time, it's still a risk putting their own time and resources into something that doesn't work. But now that a track record is being made public, Palantir, when bringing in new healthcare customers, can now point to this for more leverage in future deals because of what's actually being demonstrated and proven at TGH. And of course, TGH deserves some type of special treatment, putting this early initial work in, and it won't be surprising to see if they pull a Jacobs and start putting out their own workflows on the AIP marketplace. So $50 million can be a big, small, neutral-sized deal to you, and you can put that in your own opinion, but thinking about the context makes it seem a bit more advantageous for Palantir in the long run. But what are your thoughts though on this? Let me know below, and I'll see you in the next video.